Love is in the air, saying all too familiar this time of year. We can take a sigh of relief now that Valentine's Day is over. Our social media is no longer heavily saturated with cynical singlehood memes or sappy appreciation posts from our happily married friends. I'm sure those who are forgetful were unfortunate enough to experience having to scurry around making last-minute dinner reservations in an attempt to impress a significant other. Valentine's Day happens to be my own parents' anniversary. They got married back in 1995, and now my dad can never forget. So that's a good thing. So Valentine's Day is how we celebrate love and romance here on our homeland. And I thought it'd be interesting to look into courtship rituals around the world. And the first one that I found interesting dates back to the 4th century. Now, the Welsh people celebrate what's called St. Dwynwen's Day. Now, St. Dwynwen was a Welsh princess back in the 4th century who was very unlucky in love. She became a nun and prayed and hoped that everyone else around her was able to find what she couldn't, and that is someone to love. So this tradition carried on the 25th of January every year, and the way that young Welshmen in the 17th century would court Welsh women is they would carve wooden spoons, and these are called Welsh love spoons. These carvings were symbolic of that particular relationship and unique love. It is actually still something that's around today. There is an artist, a Welsh artist named Carrie Thomas, who is still making these Welsh love spoons. These pieces can be very big and elaborate and very expensive. People from all over the world have these special pieces made to symbolize their marriage. Another courtship ritual that I found interesting was in China. So it is called visiting girls. And it's nothing like it sounds. You know, a young man doesn't go up to the door and say, "Hey, can I visit your single daughter?" What happens is the young Dai ladies, they sit around a bonfire and they have spinning wheels. The young Dai men come and they have musical instruments and they're singing to these young ladies. All these men have red blankets draped over their shoulders. Now, when a young lady finds a young man attractive, what she does is she pulls out a small wooden stool from under her skirt and sets it down next to her for him to sit on. He then sits down, sings to her, and drapes a red blanket, the red blanket over both of them, and they spend the rest of the night whispering sweet nothings to each other. Another tradition that I found very interesting and kind of funny dates back to the 19th century, and this is in Austria. So what Austrian people would do is they would get together, everyone's single, everyone's dancing and celebrating just like a regular party, and the single Austrian ladies would have apple slices, and not for themselves, but for the men that they fancied. So a song would start playing, and a single Austrian lady would take an apple slice and put it under one of her armpits, and she would keep it there for an entire song while she danced. And of course, when we dance, we perspire. So this apple slice is soaking up all her sweat. It's pretty gross, but if the young man reciprocates, what he does is he eats the apple slices, and it's symbolic of him gaining her sexual fragrances, and then they would get to know each other. I thought it was funny because I pictured myself on a modern day dance floor with an apple slice in my armpit trying to give it to some random guy, and his reaction would probably be not to eat it. So I noticed that when it comes to love and romance and courtship, music, song, dance, gifts, those are all kind of central. But I personally believe that the best way to celebrate the one that you love and appreciate them is to simply just be present in the dark times and just to be there whether it is good or bad, like they say, for better or for worse.